Obviously, last year you guys had a fantastic season, great playoff run. How do you build off that? What do you carry over, and what do you take from that experience?
I think we just have to emphasize like replacing our role leaders from last year. Just keep doing what we were doing, having good practices, bringing enthusiasm, stuff like that.
When you take a look at this Garrett team, what excites you about 2017 about these Railroaders?
I mean, our group of seniors, we've been playing since we were sophomores. Starting getting good starts, a lot of us, and it just excites me that we're all seniors. We have a good sophomore class, some junior leaders in there too. Just as a good whole bunch of like everybody, and we're a good family.
When you take a look at, obviously you graduated guys like Tanner Burns has been a starting quarterback forever. Ben Purdy, Noah, Garrett. How do you, as an older player who's been there on Friday nights, how do you fill not only the void on the field but also the leadership void?
We graduate good seniors every year. This year, we obviously had a couple more that were pretty good, big role players. So I think we just work hard. We let our seniors take leadership. We start everything in the summer with weight room, summer camp, and we just got to bring the enthusiasm that they left when they graduated.
What is priority number one when you guys hit the practice field here in about a week and a half?
Our coaches really want us to bring enthusiasm. So, like, we have a thing called Juice. It's an award we give out to someone who's, like, the wildest in practice, bringing good enthusiasm. So that's something we like to create. Energized practices is better for us as a team.
I appreciate it, man. Joel, tell me about this defense from Garrett. People talk about the offense a lot. Yeah. What about this defense has you excited for the Railroaders in 2017?
Definitely the chemistry. Coach Tipton, he's definitely one of the best defensive coaches I've worked with. And he likes getting the enthusiasm up and just everyone working together and just having fun, which is a big thing about football. You don't want to just treat it as a job. You want to treat it as something you love doing, and then that helps you put your whole heart in it.
Joel, you guys obviously had a great run in the playoffs last year. How do you carry that over, and what do you take away from that experience that's going to allow you to improve as a team this year?
Well, there's a lot of experience, a lot of good teams we faced, a lot of good teams we beat. It's the experience definitely helps. Got the hype up, I guess if you want to say that, and it helps us move on, get more confidence, and maybe we'll do something great this year.
For some of you guys that have gotten snaps on Friday night, you guys have to fill a little bit of a leadership void when Tanner and all those guys graduated last year's senior class. What do you tell some of these younger guys who are getting their first chance of Friday nights? What are the words of wisdom that you kind of pass along so that they can play up to Garrett level football?
It will scare the crap out of you the first time, but once you get going, you love it. There's nothing better than it, being under the lights, everyone screaming for you, doing good, hitting people. It's fun once you get going, and that's the biggest thing I tell people.
In your eyes, what's the biggest focal point? What's the first thing and most important thing you guys will be focusing on when you hit practice here in about a week and a half?
The heart. Everyone's heart and how much effort they give in practice and what our end goal is. So not, who we want to be in the future, every game, we focus on every game, and then the next, we take it one day at a time. Very patient.
Perfect, Joel. As far as this team goes, obviously huge success last year at Garrett. How do you graduate a lot of seniors, but how do you carry over that success and, even maybe take another step for Garrett this year?
Well, we have a lot of important parts back. 7 starters back on defense, and something like that for offense too, really. So a good senior class. Probably of all the classes I've had, this is at least, if not the most capable to lead a team. They're no nonsense. This is the only program they've known now that's, my guys and I have been here for a while coaching them, so they are ready, and they've had a good summer. They get what it is that we do and how we do it, and I've been pretty happy with them so far. So that's first. I think having a senior class that knows what we're looking for and will really kind of carry out our expectations on the other players. So that's great. Having returning starters is good too. I think we're physically pretty strong in terms of talent, positions, and depth. We have a little bit of everything, but we do have inexperience at some places. And so, like you mentioned, skill positions especially, and usually that starts with quarterback. So Tanner Burns had been our guy for 30-something straight varsity games. So it's been kind of weird this summer, especially already. not having somebody I'm used to talk to between every play. But as much as I would like to pretend that it's a competition, at this point it's not. We're not a very big school, so we usually know pretty early who our guys are. And Levi Follett is a sophomore. He'll be our starting quarterback. He's got a little bit of everything. He's got a good arm, super smart kid, probably an inch taller than Tanner was, thinner, but a little quicker too. So we'll have to make sure we do some things within our offense that allows him to be himself. We've told him from the beginning he doesn't have to be Tanner Burns, just be the best Levi Follett he can be. And his skill set's a little different too, so we'll try to plan some things that use that to help him be effective.
When you take a look at Cam at the running back position, here's a guy who had like 2,000 yards last year. Was really a bell cow for you offensively in terms of you could count on him to get you 100, 150, 200 yards a night on a Friday. How much more of a leadership role does he take, and how much more can he shoulder offensively to lead some of these younger guys as they get their feet under them on a Friday night?
Well, between him and the offensive line, it's nice to know there's something coming into the season we feel we can hang our hat on without having to prove it first. But last year, that halfback position that he plays was, at first, the first 4 games, and really what we intended for the entire season to be a shared position. And so I've already told him in this offseason, don't expect to get 2,000 just because, one, we want that to still be a shared position. And 2, you got to play a lot of games to get there, so there's no guarantee for anything like that. So we want to share that position. He's a full-time defensive player, too. He's our middle linebacker, and we want him to play every down on that side of the ball. So he and a couple other guys will split the carries. You may not see the big stat line for him, but he's still going to be pretty important to what we do.
Tell me about this defense, because obviously you graduate guys like Ben was an all-conference or an all-state defensive back. Noah was a big guy. Garrett, when he was healthy, is one of the better linebackers in the area. Where are you at defensively? Who are the guys that are going to be taking on more prominent roles this year?
Well, the corner positions are 2 that have been open, and we're working a few guys there. Jameer and Graffia is one. Ethan Harder, they're both juniors. Craig Smith, the sophomore, is a possibility there. We've got 2 or 3, 4 guys that we're still competing for that job right now. I could say the same about the receiver positions as well. One receiver spot we do have back is Dane Johnson. Got some good experience as a freshman last year. 6'4", sophomore, big kid. He'll be effective. Our safeties, though, talking back to defense, though, a couple of seniors coming back, and Drake Baker and Evan Russell. Bigger versions of last year's selves they are. Drake, our strong safety, is 190 pounds and runs well. But all 3 linebackers are back from last year, and both defensive ends as well. So I think we have a lot to build around on defense.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Roll big train. Let's go.